You are watching Bygone Treasures, your source for everything history and geopolitics, now in session. The ancient Egyptian pharaohs were the gods of the earth. Ancient Egypt was a region of blazing deserts, a river that provided life, and a powerful. The ancient Egyptians believed that their pharaohs were gods who lived on earth, tasked with upholding order and balance in the world. Imagine a world in which your king could command the Nile to flood, bringing life to the land, where he could communicate with the gods and guarantee a bountiful harvest. This was the reality for the ancient Egyptians, whose pharaohs were more than just rulers. They were divine beings who were worshipped and revered. Their power was absolute, their word law. They commanded vast armies, built enormous temples, and left behind legacies that still captivate us today. However, their most significant function was to act as a bridge between the populace and the wide variety of Egyptian gods. The ancient Egyptians worshipped a multitude of gods, each with a distinct personality and domain. Imagine a family reunion, but instead of aunts and uncles, it would be gods and goddesses. Ra, the mighty sun god who sailed across the sky every day, bringing light and warmth to the land. Osiris, the ruler of the underworld and god of the afterlife, who promised eternal life to those deemed worthy. His wife Isis, a powerful magician and protector, a symbol of motherhood and healing. And who could forget Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification, who led souls to the afterlife? From the heavens to the underworld, the Egyptian universe was home to numerous gods. These gods governed every element of Egyptian life, controlling the seasons, safeguarding the crops, and even determining the course of the Nile. It was the pharaoh's responsibility to appease these gods and ensure their blessings upon Egypt through rituals, sacrifices, and temple construction. The pharaoh maintained a delicate balance with the divine, a balance essential to the kingdom's prosperity. The pharaoh's relationship with the gods was not merely symbolic, it was seen as a question of ancestry. They were thought to be Ra's sons, descended from the sun god himself. Can you imagine being told that you are great, and many other things? As the representative of Ra on earth, the pharaoh was entrusted with upholding the cosmic order known as Ma'at, a duty they did not take lightly. The great-grandfather was the son of this divine heritage, which gave the pharaohs immense authority, legitimizing their rule and distinguishing them from common mortals. Pharaohs oversaw the building of beautiful temples devoted to particular deities and carried out regular rites to worship the gods, including offering sacrifices and reciting holy scriptures. The pharaoh's life was a finely balanced act that kept the human and divine realms in harmony. The kingdom as a whole was directly impacted by his or her success or failure. A powerful pharaoh who was supported by the gods meant that Egypt would prosper. Famine, illness, and the wrath of the gods might be brought about by a weak pharaoh. In the ancient world, Egypt was not isolated. Traders, diplomats, and occasionally even invaders brought their gods and beliefs to the Nile Valley. Imagine new children coming to school with exciting stories and customs. These foreign deities, such as the Mesopotamian goddess Ishtar or the Canaanite storm god Baal, were occasionally incorporated into the Egyptian pantheon and frequently assimilated with pre-existing Egyptian gods, adopting similar roles and characteristics. The introduction of foreign gods occasionally accompanied times of political unrest or invasion. For instance, the Hyksos, who ruled over portions of Egypt during the Second Intermediate Period, introduced their pantheon, upending the established Egyptian order. Nevertheless, the Egyptian religious system was remarkably flexible, assimilating foreign influences while maintaining its fundamental principles. The ancient Egyptians were master builders, leaving behind some of the most inspirational structures ever imagined. Their openness to new ideas led to the durability and diversity of Egyptian culture. Massive figures defending hallowed sites and stone pyramids with towering temples decorated with hieroglyphics. These were not merely technical marvels, they were manifestations of religious devotion. For instance, the pyramids, with their lofty shapes intended to assist the departed monarch, were used as tombs for the pharaohs to ascend to the heavens. Temples, on the other hand, were the dwelling places of the gods on earth. Within their hallowed walls, priests conducted daily rites, providing food, drink, and prayers to the gods. The towering pylons, massive columns, and intricately carved walls were all intended to evoke awe and reverence. These monuments' immense size and grandeur bear witness to the pharaoh's authority and the significance of religion in ancient Egyptian society. They still awe and fascinate people today, millennia later. Imagine a set of scales with truth, justice, and order on one side and chaos, lies, and injustice on the other. The pharaoh, as the son of Ra, was responsible for maintaining these scales' perfect balance by upholding the law, protecting Egypt from its enemies, and making sure the gods were worshipped correctly. The ancient Egyptians believed in a concept called Ma'at, which represented cosmic order, justice, and truth. It served as the foundation for their civilization. A just and righteous pharaoh, favored by the gods, would ensure a bountiful harvest, protect the kingdom from harm, and usher in an era of peace and prosperity. To further solidify their role as guarantors of Ma'at, pharaohs performed elaborate rituals like the Sed Festival, a jubilee celebration intended to renew their divine power and demonstrate their continued ability to rule. Their success in maintaining Maat determined the prosperity of Egypt. Egypt, despite its strong identity, was not immune to foreign influence. As trade routes prospered and empires rose and fell in the ancient world, which was a melting pot of civilizations, merchants from far-off places brought not only exotic goods but also stories about their gods to the banks of the Nile. These tales, often told in bustling marketplaces or around flickering campfires, piqued Egyptian curiosity. Some foreign deities, such as the Anatolian goddess Kubaba, were incorporated into the Egyptian pantheon, their characteristics and functions blending with those of pre-existing gods. Others, such as the Levantine war god Reshef, managed to maintain their individuality while establishing themselves in Egyptian religion. This inflow of foreign gods enhanced Egyptian culture by adding new levels of complexity to their already varied pantheon and demonstrating how flexible the Egyptian belief system was, able to accept novel concepts without sacrificing its fundamental ideas. Imagine a society in which the king served as both the high priest and the lawgiver, where laws were regarded as divine decrees and temples were both places of worship and centers of authority. Religion was not merely a question of personal belief, it was the very foundation of society, entwined with every aspect of life, including politics. As the son of Ra, the pharaoh was regarded as the go-between for the gods and the populace. His power came from both his divine right to rule and his military prowess. Temples were frequently large, imposing buildings that served as centers of political and economic power as well as places of worship. Priests who held significant influence played a crucial role in maintaining Maat. They performed daily rituals, interpreted omens, and advised the pharaoh on religious matters. Their knowledge of sacred texts and rituals gave them considerable power within Egyptian society. The interconnectedness of religion and politics in ancient Egypt is evident in everything from monumental architecture to daily life. It was a society where the divine permeated every aspect of existence, shaping its worldview, values, and destiny. Egyptian religion wasn't static, it evolved over millennia, influenced by internal developments and external pressures. Imagine a river, its course shaped by the landscape it traverses, constantly changing yet always flowing. In the Old Kingdom, the sun god Ra reigned supreme, his cult centered at Heliopolis. During the Middle Kingdom, Amun, a local Theban god, rose to prominence, eventually merging with Ra to become Amun-Ra. The reign of Akhenaten in the New Kingdom witnessed a radical shift. This pharaoh attempted to replace the traditional pantheon with the worship of Aten, the sun disk, a move towards monotheism that ultimately failed. Despite these shifts, certain core beliefs remain constant. The Egyptians' faith in the afterlife, the importance of Maat, and the pharaoh's divine role as an intermediary between the gods and humanity endured for centuries. The evolution of Egyptian religion reflects the dynamism of their civilization. It was a belief system capable of adapting to changing circumstances while retaining its essential character. The rich tapestry of religious beliefs and practices that the ancient Egyptians left behind is evidence of their ongoing obsession with the divine. This has been Bygone Treasures. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going.